Right. Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. So today we are going to be learning how I achieved this beautiful gown inspired by Vicky James. But there'll be a little alteration because the neckline is going to be different from what's on the thumbnail. So without wasting our time, let's get right into the video. So I have my lining here and also my Mikado material, and I'll be using about 3.5 yards of fabric for this style. So guys, so the first thing I'll do is to cut out the skirt part, and here is the front part of the skirt. Don't forget the front is overlap. So the first thing I did is I measure out my waist circumference divided by 4. I also went ahead to impute my hip circumference, that's my hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. Then I came to my knee length. I minus 2 inches from what I have on my hip, and I'll just put that all the way down. So I'm just going to be marking it like this. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So that being done, the next thing I'll do is to fold another fabric for the back pattern. I've already placed it on it like so, and I left about 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So I'll just photocopy and cut it out as well. Then I open up my zipper allowance. So guys, here is the front pattern. I'm going to be working on the opening. So the overlap part, you can decide to start from the right hand side or to the left hand side, whichever way you want your opening to come from. So for mine, I decided to start from my right hand side. So to know how much to cut, you need to come to the center part here. If you want it really open, from this center point, you're going to measure about 2 inches. Just measure 2 inches forward like this, and you connect it like so. But if you don't want it to be too open, you need to just maintain what you have at the center point here. Then you connect it to meet the hip point. And for my hip point, I came down by 1.5 inches after my hip point to connect this. So guys, this is what I'll be using here. I don't want the opening to be too much, so I'm just going to be maintaining the first line I have here. So I'm going to be cutting it like so. So guys, after cutting this, I will be using this to cut the other side. And don't forget, this is the right side facing up. While cutting it, it's going to be facing each other, right side facing each other. So by the time you open it up, it will give you left and right, so that you will not make mistake of cutting two left at the same time. So guys, this is what I'm going to be having while I place it on it, and I'll just trace it out and cut it. So I'll set that aside and work on the upper part. So the upper part is going to be a basque shape, and the first thing I did is to mark down my armhole, my nipple points, my underbust, my waistline, and to the blouse length, sorry, the half length of my dress. So then I add 7 inches for my basque. You can do less or more depending on what you want. So the next thing I will do is to measure the shoulder measurement. So that's my shoulder to shoulder divided by 2. Then whatever I have on my shoulder, I bring it down to my chest line and I'll connect it like this. So I came down by 1.5 for my shoulder slope, and I'm going to divide what I have left into 2. So that will be the midpoint of that armhole, so I can connect my armhole. So but before I'll do that, I'll impute my bust circumference divided by 4. Then from there, I'll just connect and finish up the armhole. I also went ahead to add my sewing allowance at that point. So this is what I have. I'll make sure the 3 points are matched, touching each other, then I'll connect it like that. So the next thing I'll do is to measure my nipple to nipple measurements. Nipple to nipple measurement divided by 4, divided by 2. And I'll be adding my allowance of about half an inch for joining the center panel to the side panel. So from there, the next thing to do is to take my underbust tightening. I am using 2 inches here. If you don't know how to determine whatever that to take, it's just going to be your bust circumference minus your round under bust circumference. Whatever you have, divide it by 2. So that will determine your under bust intake. So from there, I'm just going to connect a straight line all the way down like this. So from here on the nipple point, I'm going to be connecting what I have from my under bust to my nipple points like so, and I'll also repeat the same thing on the other side. So at this side, I don't like it so curvy. This time, I think I prefer it a little bit straight. So from here, I'm going to be taking my armhole dart. So I think my curve here is a little bit slanting, guys. So you will need to make your own a little bit straight, not this curvy. So from this other side here, I'm going to be curving it like this, and I'll extend it by about 1.5 or 1 inch, depending on how much that you take on the armhole area. So from this point here, what I will do here is to finish up taking my body circumference. I have gone ahead to measure that of bust circumference. So the next thing is to take my under bust plus my allowance, and also a quarter of my waist circumference divided by 4 plus my 2 inches allowance. So I've also went ahead to impute those darts I took at that under bust and at the waistline. So if you did not replace the dart, you will run short of fabric. So before I connect my basque, I need to close up my dart like this so it will match up properly. So guys, if you did not do this, it will not match up. So another thing is to come down by like 1 inch or half an inch for your sewing allowance. This is very important, guys. So this is what it looks like. So to finish up the neckline, so I'm going to be drafting both the front and the back neckline here together. So I measured the width of about 4 inches, and for the back neckline, I'm using 2 inches, while the front neckline is going to be V-neck. But this V is going to be like an asymmetric V. So after I've cut it on my fabric, then I'll show you how I'm going to be doing this, guys. So don't forget your shoulder slope, and also while cutting on your fabric, add your shoulder slope allowance. So guys, I've decided to add bust dart to my dress. So at this point, I came down from the chest line by 1.5. That's the difference between my front half length and my back half length. Then I am going to be cutting it out, but before then I need to close up that area. So what I will do is to just cut from this end here, so I can then cut out the bust dart. So let me finish up this part before I will forget. So remember, I extend my my armhole. So this is going to be my new armhole now. So the other one, I'm not going to be cutting through. This new one is the new armhole. So I'll cut and stop at the nipple point here, so I can finish up my bust dart. So I'm going to cut. Mind you, you're not going to cut through. Just cut close to the nipple point. Don't cut through. So I'll use my masking tape to just keep this in place in order for it not to move. So the next thing I will do is to start cutting. So remember, I'll cut out my back area first, then I'll finish off the other side. So you cut through the underbust to your nipple point and to the armhole side. So basically this is all for the front pattern. So I'll just finish up this area like this. So this is what my pattern will be looking like after cutting it out. So I'll keep this aside so I can work on the back panel. So here is the back part. I've already gone ahead to draft out some lines here. The first line there is my shoulder, here is my armhole, my nipple point, and the waistline. So I don't need underbust for this. So I'm also gonna head to add my zipper allowance. So the next thing I will do is to remove my zip bulge. So I'll come in by 0.75. You can do half an inch. So from that point, I'll just slant it like this with my ruler to make like 3 inches before the upper part, like so. So another thing is you can also take your dart from the waist by going up by half or 1 inch, depending on what works for you, or the difference between your back dart and your back half length and your front half length. So if yours is 1, you're going to take 1 inch and connect to meet the side because the side needs to match up properly. So after that, the next thing I'll do is to take my body circumference, your bust circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches, and also your waist circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches. And also don't forget your dart. So don't forget you are taking dart of about half an inch on both sides. That's 1 inch that you're going to include that to your body measurement. So I'll just finish up my armhole at this point. So basically that is all for the back. And yes, before I forget, I'll take my dart, my nipple to nipple measurements. I'll take it here and I'll connect a straight line like this. So I'll be taking half an inch on the waistline. So I want my dart to start from like 1 inch before my armhole. So I took my half inch dart on the waistline and I'll connect it to meet that point. So the back, remember, you also cross the back neckline. So just as I've explained earlier, my neck weight and also the neck depth, then I'll cut it out. So I'll just notch where my dart will be on both sides. So while sewing, it will be easy for me to just sew and hold my dart in place. So I'll go ahead and cut. I'll use my pattern to cut my fabric. So I'm cutting for the front, the back, the side, and also don't forget to notch your under bust. I also cut the sides. So after cutting it out, so it's time for me to work on the neckline. Remember I said it's an asymmetric neckline. I don't want it to just be normal regular v-neck. So what I will do is to open it up like this. So from my neckline here, I'll come down by like let's say 6.5 to 7 inches. So if you really want it to be down, you can go ahead and do like 8 inches. Yeah. So I'll connect it in a straight form like this. Then I'll curve it like so. You can decide to take it to the other side, depending wherever you want your V to go. If it's from your right to the left or from left to right. So this is how I want mine to be. Remember, let me just go over it again. I measure 7 inches or 7.5. Then I'll connect it like this from the other neckline, like so, like so. So then I'll go ahead and cut it out. So then I'll keep this aside. I've also gone ahead to cut my breast pad. So at the end of the day, I end up not using the breast pad. I use my SK. Yes, I think I'm more comfortable with SK than this breast pad. There's this feeling you get. There's this, it always comes out very fine. So guys, I've gone ahead to gum SK on all my fabric. I only gum on the main fabric. I'm not gum to my lining, but lining, my fabric already have structured. It's a thick fabric. So I've also gone ahead to cut for the down part, the back part. So this is how you sew it. You're just going to be placing the side panel on the center panel like so. Then you sew all along like this. Just follow it. Whatever allowance you left, half an inch all around. And to the back part as well, you sew the neckline. You can also use your hemming gun to finish it off like this. I always like the way it comes out whenever I use hemming gun. So after sewing it, or if you don't want to use anything, you can just go ahead and top stitch on it. Yes, just go ahead and top stitch. So guys, I'm done sewing this is the front part and this is what it looks like. So I'll just open it up and iron my seam area. So guys, if you have found this helpful in any way, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. If you are new here guys, please subscribe so you get more of this. And don't forget to hit on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So I am done ironing this and I will also iron it from the other side. I'll turn it from the right side and also iron it out. So while ironing, make sure you mold it very well. Just keep molding until the shape comes out the way you want it. So this is what my front looks like. So I've also gone ahead to turn the down part. So I turn with my lining for the front, the overlap at the front, the two piece at the back, and yes, and that is it guys. So the next thing I will do is to use my line to turn the neckline like this. So after turning it and also sewing at the side, the next thing you want to do is to just give it a good curve. So here is the front part I need to overlap. I will be using the other side to overlap it like so. So, so I'm gonna have to overlap the front part like this, and this is what the slit at the front is looking like. Yes, this is the slit. I don't want it to open, and yes, I'll just go ahead and sew the waist, and after that, I will shape my skirt, my style. So I also shape for the upper part as well. So at this point, if you are going to be adding maybe like an applique to it, you can just place it directly on the front part of your skirt without cutting it out. So, but for mine, I'm not going to be adding an applique to this, so I'll just cut it and sew it. So, just like that, to cut it out. But I'm not going to be adding an applique to mine, so I'll cut it and then I'll sew it in, then I'll weave the inside. So I'll just cut it out like this. just do as I explained earlier. If you are going to be adding an assist to cover, just that means you are going to be turning the front, the down part of the back at the waistline. So you just place it on top. For mine, I'm going to be cutting it out. So let me show you what I'll be doing. So I've cut it out, and this is what it looks like. And here is the back shape I have it. So I just take it to my machine and sew it like this. So I'll start from the middle point. I'll make sure the middle part makes each other very well. I'll place it at this middle point like so. Then I'll sew towards the side. Then after that, then I'll turn it and sew to the other side. So I've gone ahead to sew it, and here it is. So this is what I have. Here's the back line, and yes, everything comes out very nice. So moving forward, I'll attach the back part to the back part and also attach my zipper. And don't forget to attach to add your dots to the back part. And yes, so I've gone ahead to attach my waist, and I've also gone ahead to join the shoulder. So I left one shoulder, so I'll be using it to show you how to use this to turn it smoothly for those of us that doesn't know how to do this. So this is what you do. Here is how to go about it. You place it like so. Then you pick one of the lining piece, just one of the back to wrap around the front one, or you pick one of the front to wrap around the back. That's just basically how to do it. So it's like sandwiching one inside the other. So for the sleeve part, I have a detailed tutorial on how to sew this basic sleeve. So guys, in short, I'll be dropping the link in the description box below. So let me just show you how I go about it a little bit. So you can go ahead and check it out on my channel, how to achieve this beautiful sleeve. So I'm going to be using a half circle sleeve, and yes, I'll add also more than inch spacing, and yes, that's just basically it. It's very simple. Do wait to check it out, and yes, that is all for this tutorial. I hope you have found this helpful in any way, and hope to see you in my next video.